mic's working. Yeah, it looks like the blue wave that I predicted is arriving. The Cook report came out, which was very good for us. Showing Texas and Iowa now being toss-ups, which insane, by the way. And I predicted this, by the way, earlier this year. I said this was going to happen. And yeah, it's not good. I can't pull up the Cook report exactly because it's $35 a month to read their shit. But the battle for Senate is about to intensify ahead of traditional Labor Day starting gun. Republicans still retain a structural advantage given the partisan challenges of the map, and Democrats still will need every key race to break their way. But as recently wrote in a wave election akin to 2006, even states that President Donald Trump won by double digits could move to Democrats' reach. Yeah, so we're getting welcome back Bush administration politics. Oh, this is really, really, really good. While Tallarico remains right side up in his favorables, at least so far, the deeply flawed Paxton is underwater as much by double digits in some surveys and is notably underperforming, giving a generic Republican and GOP polling. In addition to a bevy of politic polls, Republican polling has been race tied for some time, the report said. I thought I was tweaking when I didn't hear you. No, my bad. Dude, straight up, it's like, I've been calling this, that the Republicans polling has been showing that Democrats are doing good. Tallarico not without his own, noting the Democrats' comments that God is non-binary and there are multiple genders. Republicans, that's not even like a controversy. Ken Paxton is like sexually harassed people. The report noted, come on, Paxton comes with his own baggage, and then we're saying this. Are we serious? There's not much Paxton's fortunes other than to make him lesser of the two evil partisan voters. That could be enough to save him narrowly. But at this juncture, we have to call Texas a toss-up. That's huge. This is fucking insane. Like, massive, massive, massive endeavor. Where... Where is it? Sorry. Here it is. This is what I was trying to get pulled up. I'd like a latte from Cafe Resistance. I'm curious what this is going to say.
With that, let's bring in our leadoff panel, MS Now congressional reporter Michael Schnell, who joins us from South Carolina this morning, Laura Barone-Lopez, White House reporter for MS Now, and Damian Paletta, Washington coverage chief for the Wall Street Journal and author of the journal's Politics newsletter. Michael, we are going to get to that Trump-Darlene Graham rally that's coming up where you are in just a moment. But let's start with this news from Cook Political Report.
This is the Cook, dude, the fact that Iowa is now a toss-up is insane to me. Insane.
Texas, Iowa, now toss-ups. What does this mean for Republicans if those two states are in play?
Ariel, it's certainly not a good sign for Republicans, and of course it narrows their path to retaining the Senate majority. But on the other hand, it's a boon for Democrats. Look, this cycle, this map was seen as a difficult.
It's so big. It's so big. Let me see. Well, that's the New York Times. I'm not going to be able to look at that. Maybe I will. Des Moines Register. Whatever. Randy Feenstra has been saying some bullshit as well. We'll take a look at that. God, the fact that Turek is doing so well in Iowa is huge. Turek, Walls. Henson, Turek. This is massive. Massive. Schumer just... Fuck you.
one for Democrats because of the states in play. But now having these two key red states now as toss-ups, it kind of gives them a glimmer of hope for any chances of taking the majority. I think that it's two factors at play here. First off, candidate quality, and then the political headwinds. Talk about a place like Texas. In that primary, a bruising GOP primary, Ken Paxton won over John Cornyn. Ken Paxton has a lot of baggage. He has a lot of scandals that he's constantly being asked about on the campaign trail. Democrats saw him as an easier candidate to go up against as opposed to John Cornyn, a conservative, someone who's been in the Senate for years and a fundraising juggernaut. By Democrats then getting Ken Paxton on the ballot, it makes it a little bit easier for them. And then they all
handcuffed to his record, voted to reduce sentences. Yeah. I don't know, man. This is Ken Paxton. I wish that James Tallarico would take a stronger stance, because, like, you could be supportive of trans people and also do well against Ken Paxton. Ken Paxton literally got impeached.
Also have James Tallarico, a candidate who's caught fire both in Texas and nationally with some glitzy ads and the way he talks about issues. And then look at a place like Iowa. You have Josh Turek, the Democrat who's
Josh Turk's doing fucking great, by the way. I'm so happy
running in that race, who's had a good ad recently with President Obama, someone who is still revered in the Democratic Party. So certainly a year that looked like it would be difficult, almost impossible for Democrats, is getting a little bit attainable. The other thing here are those political headwinds. We always talk about the economy and affordability. Right now, with gas prices on the rise because of the war in Iran, that's not doing any help for Republicans as they...
No, the Republican... This is what I said. When the Iran war broke out, I said this word for word, basically, that the Iran war is going to fuck Republicans so bad. I wonder if this is going to have the actual poll.
$5. That's how much I'm hoping
James,
you'll contribute.
Say something good about trans people,
to our
and then we'll talk.
campaign to take back Texas. $5 to defeat the billionaire mega donors and their puppet politics.
And as we end a pretty busy week, considering in many ways the
Walmart posts weakest growth in years.
Supply chain suffering under the war and the gas hikes as well. Then there's a national debt. Now, this is something that kind of exists.
30% approval. Wait, hold on. No way. Wait. That's fucking insane. Holy shit. American Research Group. American Research Group polls. Oh my good lord. Term 2 approval. His approval rating is at 30%. Jesus Christ. Of the 30% of Americans saying they approve the way Trump is handling his job as president right now, 14% say they expect the national economy will be better a year from now. 24% say the national economy will be the same. 52% say the national economy will be worse. This is massive. Massive. Oh my God.
And with that, let's bring in our leadoff panel, MS Now congressional reporter.
Also have James Tallarico, a candidate who's caught fire both in Texas and these states, and Democrats are keenly aware of that, which is why they are messaging so hard and campaigning so hard on those.
Yeah, they need to campaign on those gas prices. Like, honestly, economics is how you reach the partisan voter.
Gas prices. So look, there's still a toss-up. It still means it's anybody's game, but certainly a sigh of relief in a way for Democrats if they want any hope of taking the Senate majority.
For Democrats.
So, Damien, I had been combing all of the publications, and what caught my eye was you have The Atlantic, Axios, Politico. All of them have headlines, I hope we have them for you, that are declaring essentially the death of Resistance 1.0 to Trump.
Yes! Yes! Please!
What do you make of the narrative that the...
Just being an anti-Trump Democrat does nothing.
Regional Trump resistance is withering, whether it's Vindman, you saw Dan Goldman. Democratic voters are now looking at a new wave of fighters that are focused on the solutions rather than just the fight itself.
Really interesting. I was in Atlanta last week with Hakeem Jeffries, and he was talking about what the Democrats' agenda would be if they do control the House in 2027. And he was not talking about relitigating, a lot of the past. He was talking about going after corruption for sure, but he was talking about being laser focused on the cost of living and the things that.
I mean, he's taken the points from Mamdani. He's literally taking points from Mamdani. That's all he's doing. Also, Forrest, I can't believe when I asked you if you wanted to cover politics with me, you said sure. That's why I expected you to say fuck no. I think it's absolutely hilarious.
That Americans care about the most. I think the way that President Trump is acting right now, he's already been impeached twice in his first term. It doesn't seem like he's that deterred or cares that much about that. In fact, Democrats would probably be really split if they had to make a decision about whether to do that again in 2027. I think Democrats feel like the one thing that unites them, whether it's the Democratic Socialists of America on the far left or the center of the party, is a focus on the things that are going to get Americans, the majority of Americans and independents, to the ballot box in November. And that's things like the economy, the cost of living, and that's the sort of stuff that they want to kind of focus on going forward. And so they think that brings the party together. It's interesting to see, as you just pointed out, a lot of the kind of resistance Democrats from several years ago falling by the wayside. It looks like the Democrats and the voters are looking for fresher faces, and that's kind of what we're seeing in a lot of these states, whether it's in Iowa or even in Michigan.
I want to... Because Randy Feenstra is saying, he's so unpopular. Polling. When was this? June 1st. It's a little low. God damn it. Because, okay, this is why I've been saying this for months, by the way. Because you got Randy Feenstra. Read summary of the poll and see the full results here. Thank you. Do you plan to vote? 82% yes. Do you have a favorable view of Donald Trump? Unfavorable? Somewhat favorable? Very favorable. Iowa, please get a progressive Dem for governor. Well, it wouldn't be a progressive Dem. Not James Tellerico. Rob Sand isn't a super progressive guy, but he is pretty good. I think Rob Sand would be really good for the state of Iowa. Zach Lan, unpopular. Randy Feenstra, unpopular. Okay, so this is is this polling Republicans? Receive JMC polling upcoming statewide races. All responses are strictly confidential. How likely are you to vote? And you can give it a plus or minus 4.8%. Okay. Republicans, yes, it says on top. Oh, yeah, Republican primary election. Okay, so I'm assuming this is polling Republicans only. The fact that 60% of Republicans are saying very favorable, and we have at least 18% that are at the unfavorable level. God, there's no clear majority. Ashley Hinton, that makes sense. This is, guys, they're just not doing well. And the fact that Trump's approval rating is at 30% is insane.
And Laura, one thing that's for certain is that Democrats have had this advantage when it comes to massive turnout and enthusiasm during the midterm cycle. Is there anything that the White House, that Republicans can do to excite their voters with less than 3 months until the midterms?
Nope.
Well, one of the things that you hear from Republicans or from
general, I should say, not the midterms.
right, is that they want, they wish that the president were out there more. I mean, Trump
he can't. He's going to die if he does.
Has not really been campaigning that much. We know he has the event today. Again, it is, though, in a state where this is not critical to maintaining Senate majority. And he hasn't really been doing much for any of the vulnerable House Republicans, for any of the other.
It's because they don't suck his dick enough. I'm going to be objectively honest here, or brutally honest. It's they don't suck his dick
potentially
enough.
More vulnerable Senate Republicans or candidates that are running in those key Senate races. And so, but Trump himself has said out loud that he's not on the ballot and that he thinks Republicans themselves need to be doing more to win the races.
He doesn't care. He does not give a fuck.
For themselves. And you hear that also from White House aides and from a former White House official I was just talking to recently who said that Republicans have to take it upon themselves to win these races, that the president can't do it for them all the time. But of course, voters are responding to the president's agenda in terms of not liking it. I mean, across the board on issues where he has traditionally been doing well, whether it's immigration, whether it's the economy and others, he is underwater. And he's not necessarily focused or doing anything to try to reverse that. We are still in the Iran war, and the president is changing strategy a little bit there, but there is no end in sight. And he is just this week, again, focusing on his project, showing a helipad, construction of a helipad on the south lawn of the White House, and again, talking about all of the things that he is doing when it comes to construction and leaving a legacy at the White House.
He knows he's going to die soon, by the way. He absolutely knows he's going to die soon. And so he's like, okay, I want to put as much shit in the White House that'll stay here permanently, which they won't, that I can.
And yet the president, Michael, is going to head to South Carolina, where you are, to campaign with Darlene Graham. She looks...
Oh, Darlene Graham is just a fucking idiot.
Pretty vulnerable after what we saw from her debate performance and subsequent attempts to clean up the aftershock from that. What are you going to be watching for in this race and from the president?
Yeah.
I am the center of the universe.
I don't care. I don't care. Get out of my screen.
I think the biggest thing is, how does Darlene Graham continue to try and recover from that debate gaffe? Look, she has been a sitting senator for about a month now, and to say that she doesn't have experience in national security, doesn't know much about it, it is probably going to be a concern to voters. And I say that because I was here last week ahead of the initial election, and I heard from a number of voters who said they were voting for somebody other than Darlene Graham, despite the Trump endorsement, because they were concerned that she didn't have the right experience to be a senator, she didn't have the qualifications, and she hasn't shown a proven track record of being able to get things done in Congress. Now, Graham recently has said that she's not a politician. She has not shied away about that, but she supports the military and that she'll learn while on the job. But I'm curious to see if this continues to be a concern for voters, and does President Trump try to prop her up on that big...
Yes, he does. He loved sucking the dick of Lindsey Graham.
Vulnerability. The thing about that debate gaffe was that it wasn't a new idea. It wasn't a new concern. It just played into these concerns that voters have had and have been voicing. So that's the biggest question. The second one is the Trump factor here, right? President Trump is the one who asked Darlene Graham to run for the full term. He endorsed her. Now he's coming down 4 days before this runoff to try and get her over the finish line. It's a big question of, does he still have this grip on the GOP?
Yes. And it's not a good thing.
Particularly after those losses this week in Florida and Wyoming. And not to mention, Darlene Graham did come in first in the initial election. More than 60% of South Carolina Republicans voted for someone else, somebody who Donald Trump did not endorse. So just as much as Darlene Graham has a lot on the line here, Donald Trump does too. And I think that you can sort of sense that the White House understands that, because he is coming down today to try to nudge her over the finish line.
It's not going to work, man. The Republicans are crumbling. I don't know, man. I'm excited. There's so much hope I have for this midterm election. I can't exaggerate. I'm not exaggerating when I say I have some of the most excitement for this midterm that I've had recently. I don't know, guys. I predicted this. I'm just saying.